Alright, for the fifth part of the video, I know at the last video I said part 4 is next, but it's really part 5 that was next. The next part is to create some buttons that we can click on and assign actions to. Before we do that, there's one thing we missed in part 4, and that is where this button, this transparent button here on the outside should exist. Well, the truth is it doesn't really need to be here at the beginning. So I'm going to insert a keyframe here. Insert a keyframe, and we can actually delete it from frame 1. So if you watch, I go here to frame 1, and I'm going to delete this button from existence. So that way I want it so that that transparent button does not appear until this point in the movie. And there it goes. Okay, so now if I run the movie one more time, I can go up here, this comes down, pick my choice, and then it goes back up. Just like that. Alright, so let's talk about creating some buttons here for our pull down menu. So the first thing is that I'm going to go up here, and remember right now we're still in the pull down menu itself. So I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to call it button. One. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up common libraries. Now you should have your own buttons already, but I'm going to just so you understand what we're doing, I'm going to go to common libraries and grab a button from common libraries. This will do. And I'm just going to drag it over here. Alright? So we want the button to appear right. Let's see, when do we want it to appear? We want it to appear right here. It's going to be the first on the list. So I'm going to insert a keyframe here. Insert a keyframe. Remove the button from here, from the first frame. I don't need it there. And go here to the frame where I want the button to appear. I could have inserted a keyframe and then dragged it over too, but you can go either way. And then from here, I can go over to my transform and kind of resize this a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. If I can get my mouse on it, there we go. Alright, so this is where I want it to appear. Boom. And from here, I'm going to have it fade in. So I'm going to insert a keyframe here. And create a classic tween. And I'm going to have the alpha at 0. So let's click it and go to alpha. And go to 0. So that way when the menu comes up or down, it fades in. And then I'm going to do the same thing when the menu is going up. Right about here is where it's going to fade out. Insert a keyframe. Go forward a little bit. And this is when it's disappeared. Insert another keyframe. And have the alpha at 0 here. So you may need to watch that part of the video a few times, maybe rewind it if you didn't catch everything. I know I'm going a little bit fast, but it's because we've already done this. So if you miss a part, don't hesitate to go back and take a closer look. Okay, so let's move that back a little bit so it's a little bit shorter. There we go. Okay, so there we have it. There's the animation for my first button. And I can do that for all the buttons. If you have several buttons, you just make another layer. And you'd have button 2 and button 3, etc. So right now I'm just focusing on making these buttons. Here's button. They don't have any actions assigned to them yet. Button 2. And I can insert, since I already know the second button's going to appear here, I'm just going to go ahead and insert a keyframe here. Insert keyframe. Go to my library and grab that button we had. Where to go? Drag that out. Let me resize it so it's the right size here. There we go. And move it down a little bit. There's several ways you could do this. I could have just copied and pasted too, but let's just do it this way. Alright, so there's my next second button. And I'm going to insert a keyframe here. Insert a keyframe. And go here to frame 1, set the alpha to 0. And create a classic tween. So now if I play it, it'll look like this. Looks kind of cool. And the same thing as it fades out, let's insert a keyframe here and here. Create a classic tween. I know I'm doing it out of order. And have the alpha at 0 at the end. There we go. And you're going to notice that it's going to look kind of like a pyramid effect. It fades in, fades out, fades out. So, and then if I do a third and a fourth one, I think you get the picture. Let's do one more just for practice. Button 3, 3, and insert a keyframe here. And drag my button over. I'll do the other, well, yeah, let's just do it this way. Library and rectangle button. There. Resize it. There we go. A little bit too big. Okay. And from there, insert a keyframe here. Right click, create a classic tween, and set the alpha to 0. And have it fade in. And then same thing here. Right click here. Oop, where am I? Insert keyframe and insert keyframe. And it's going to fade to 0 here. There we go. Create classic tween. I got to be careful not to go past this point here. We don't want it to fade away while the menu is still down. So it'll look like that and it'll fade away like that. Okay, so that's it. Now we need to just assign actions to these buttons. So while it's waiting here at this point, this is where I can assign actions to these buttons. This is where the person would click on them while the menu has been pulled down. So over here I can go ahead and, well, let's go set up our stage. So I'm going to go back to my stage here, and let's say we're going to create a new layer called actions first of all. So let's call this one actions. And on the first frame, I'm going to go ahead and open up my actions window and type in stop so that it stays at frame 1. Alright. Then I'm going to go ahead and go out to frame 20. Let's just say frame 20. It could be anywhere. It's up to you. And I'm going to create a new layer. Let's see, there we go. So let's actually go out to frame 50 just to give ourselves some nice room here. And I'm going to push F5 here and F5 here. And for actions, I'm going to push F5 for now, that's fine. And for layer 4, that's going to be, let's say, my graphics or my text. So you're going to have a lot of layers here because you're going to have pictures and things fading in and fading out, text coming in, text going out. You're going to be working with a lot of layers, so be prepared to get a lot of work done. But over here, maybe at frame 10, I'm going to insert a keyframe here, and I'm going to type in just welcome to frame 10. Welcome. You pressed the first button. Alright, and I'm going to have, and you can have like a graphic here or something fading in and fading out. So I can go ahead and go up here to my move tool, convert this to a symbol because I'm going to tween it. So convert to symbol, btn1 text, and it's going to be a graphic. This is just practice stuff, so don't stress about this. Just learn the material, but you don't have to do this. You can do your own thing here. But basically, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go maybe forward to frame 20. Insert a keyframe. Move it down. There. And create a classic tween. And I can have the alpha start at 0. So it fades in like that. And then what I would do in my actions is I would put a stop here. And pull up my actions window here. Where is it? Window, actions, and type in stop. So it'll stop there. So far I have a stop there and a stop here. Let's put actions on top. That way it's easier. So I have a stop here. That's the beginning of the movie. And then I have a stop there. So that when it plays frame 10, it'll stop here. I can do the same thing here too. Again, not mandatory, but advisable. Labels. And I'm going to go over here and insert a keyframe. And just label this frame button 1 or something, or whatever this section's called. So you guys are doing an Egypt website, so you can say, the pharaohs or whatever you want to call that section. Button 1. Oh, one word. There we go. All right, so now I can go back to that button. Let's see, where is that button? Let's go over here. Click on the first button here. Pull up my actions. And say on press open curly bracket, close curly bracket, go to and play. And then open parentheses here. In quotation marks, I type the label name, which is, what do we call that guy? Button 1. And close parentheses, semicolon. Now this is not going to work, and here's why it's not going to work. The reason it's not going to work is right now I'm inside the button. I'm in the timeline for the pull-down menu, movie clip I should say actually. And so if I say go to play button 1, it's going to look for button 1 in here, but there is no button 1 here. It's in, where is it? It's inside the stage, which in order for it to go back, we need to go back to the root. And so you're going to actually type in underscore root dot go to and play. And that will solve our problem. It'll go back to the stage and then look for button 1 there. So it should work. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. I'm going to hit Control Enter. Go over here. My menus pop down. I'm going to go over here, click, and it worked. And you can do that for all of the buttons from there. It can do the exact same thing here. If I go back to scene 1, it's just to review so you understand what I did. I can go over here to frame 20, and it stopped. Remember, it stopped there. It didn't keep going. So because I put an stop action there. But I can go to frame 21, insert a keyframe here. And I insert a keyframe here or blank keyframe. It doesn't matter because there's nothing in this layer, so you don't have to worry about whether it's blank or not. Over here, I can label this. Let's go here to label button 2. And I can go over here, insert a blank keyframe here this time. Because remember, you can't have two animations on the same, or two tweens on the same layer. So either you could make a, no, I didn't want to do that. Let's undo that. Over here, I'd want a blank keyframe. So either you can make a new layer altogether, or keep it on the same layer, but make sure you have a blank keyframe to work with. It's up to you. Usually new layers are better. Just make sure you label everything really well, because you're doing a really big project. You want to try to stay organized. You'll drive yourself crazy if there's things all over the place. All right, so last little bit, I'm going to go over here, make one more text box here, and just type in, you press button 2. You pressed button 2. Good job. Okay, and let's go to the move tool here, right click it, convert it to a symbol, call it text to or whatever. I can't remember what I called the first one. I know I'm telling you to be organized, but right now I'm kind of in a weird sitting position and I'm trying to finish up this tutorial for you. So go over here to frame 30, insert a keyframe, and move it down a little bit. And right click here, create a classic tween. You can change the alpha if you would like. It's up to you. Where's my alpha? Alpha to 0. And have it fade in here. And then what do I need? a stop action. So go to my actions layer, and before I do that, create a blank keyframe or a keyframe, and then open up my actions. Actions, where are you? Oh wait, no, what am I saying? Yeah, actions. Go to window and actions. Actually, I did actions from there too. And then type in stop. And there you have it. That should be everything. Let's try it. Go here, go down, and now it's not going to work because we just have to type in the code. So I'm going to double click here, go over to where the buttons appear fully, click on the second button. I'm just going to copy and paste, make my life easier. Copy and paste from the first button to the second button, and type in button 2. Now let's run the movie. Button 1 works, button 2 works. And that's it. That's everything for this project. That's the basics. So good luck, and make some really cool websites. I can't wait to see them. I think you guys are going to do very well. You're a good group. And email me with any questions. Until next time.